Welcome to our deep dive into the impact of hurricanes in the Caribbean. These powerful natural events have shaped the region's history, economy, and daily life. In grade school, we were taught the ditty. June too soon, July stand by, August a must, September remember, October all over. Today, we'll explore how hurricanes are formed, look back at some of the most devastating hurricanes in history, and examine changing trends in hurricane activity since the year 2000. We end with some sage advice, do's and don'ts regarding hurricanes. Before we get into our video, please do mash that subscribe button to help our little channel grow. Every mickle mecca muckle, thank you. Hurricanes are tropical storms with maximum sustained winds of 74 miles per hour, 64 knots or higher. In the western North Pacific, hurricanes are called typhoons. Similar storms in the Indian Ocean and South Pacific Ocean are called cyclones. All are intense storm systems characterized by strong winds, heavy rain, and thunderstorm activity. Hurricanes are graded using a 1 to 5 model, with 5 being the worst, with wind speeds of over 157 miles per hour. They form over the warm ocean waters found in the tropics. Here's how they develop in a few simple steps. The process begins with the warm ocean water, typically at least 26.5 degrees Celsius, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, common in the tropics. This warm water provides the energy necessary for the development of a hurricane. As the warm, moist air over the ocean rises, the water vapor cools and condenses into clouds. Condensation releases heat, and this heat warms the atmosphere, making the air even lighter so it can continue to rise into the atmosphere. This creates a low-pressure area. Air from surrounding areas with higher pressure pushes into the low-pressure area, warms up, and rises. This is known as convergence. As the warm air rises, it cools and condenses into clouds and thunderstorms. The Coriolis effect, due to Earth's rotation, causes the system to spin, leading to the rotating cyclonic activity characteristic of hurricanes. As the system develops, it forms a well-defined center or eye, surrounded by a rotating band of strong winds and thunderstorms. The eye of the storm is typically calm with no wind or rain. The sun is able to get through, so it does get warmer. However, air pressure is very low. Let's look at some historical hurricanes. In 1953, the United States Weather Bureau, now the National Weather Service, started naming hurricanes female. In 1978, both gender names began to be used after control over naming was relinquished to the World Meteorological Organization, WMO. The Caribbean has a long history of devastating hurricanes. Let's look briefly at some historical hurricanes that have left a lasting impact on the region. We start with the Great Hurricane of 1780. Considered the deadliest Atlantic hurricane on record, it struck in October 1780, killing over 20,000 people across the Caribbean, including Barbados, St. Lucia, and Martinique. Specifics on the hurricane's track and strength are unknown, as the official Atlantic Hurricane Database only goes back to 1851. Coming in the midst of the American Revolution, the storm caused heavy losses to the British fleet contesting for control of the area, largely weakening British control over the Atlantic. We have accounts from persons in the region at the time. The Attorney General of Guadeloupe wrote, "The gale of wind which happened on the 12th of October was the most severe perhaps ever known. Barbados suffered amazingly. 6,500 souls perished. Tobago laid waste, Grenades, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Martinique suffered more than any person can conceive. St. Kitts and Eustatia did not escape without damage. This island did but just feel it." The Great Hurricane was part of the disastrous 1780 Atlantic hurricane season, with 2 other deadly storms occurring in October. The highest reported winds during any storm was with Hurricane Allen in 1980. The cyclone started in the central Atlantic and became a monster in the Caribbean. Due to a lack of land interference, sustained winds were estimated to have reached 190 miles per hour as the hurricane entered the southeast Gulf of Mexico. And then there was Hurricane Gilbert in 1988. A Category 4 storm, Hurricane Gilbert, wreaked havoc across Jamaica, causing widespread destruction and significant loss of life. At the time, Gilbert, which peaked at Category 5 strength before leaving the island, was the first hurricane to make landfall in Jamaica in 37 years. The previous disaster was Hurricane Charlie in the 1950s. It was one of the most intense hurricanes of the 20th century and moved across the island, leaving only suffering in its wake. Some 45 lives were lost and 800,000 people sought shelter as more than 100,000 homes were destroyed and damaged island-wide. The island suffered billions of dollars worth of damage, with the agricultural sector the worst affected. The banana and poultry industries in particular experienced next-level devastation as they were obliterated. Now, let's examine the trends in hurricane activity from the year 2000 onwards. Remember that ditty from grade school? Well, things have indeed changed. In recent decades, we have seen significant increased frequency and intensity of hurricanes in the Caribbean. The hurricane season, traditionally from June to November, has seen activity starting earlier and ending later. Warmer ocean temperatures due to climate change are a key factor driving this trend. Studies show an increase in the number of Category 4 and 5 hurricanes. This extension and severity of the hurricane season poses additional challenges for preparedness and recovery. Hurricane Ivan in 2004, a Category 5, severely affected Grenada, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands. Ivan rampaged across the Caribbean, causing extensive damage, particularly in Grenada, where nearly 90% of homes were damaged or destroyed. The center of the Category 5 hurricane passed within 30 miles of Grand Cayman, home to some 45,000 people. Waves as high as 6 meters crashed into the seawall at the port in Georgetown, while floodwaters swept away trucks, cars, and boats. Irma was another Category 5 hurricane that caused catastrophic damage in Barbuda, St. Martin, and the Virgin Islands in 2017. It was one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes ever recorded. Hurricane Maria, also in 2017 and also a Category 5 hurricane, devastated Dominica and Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, it caused a humanitarian crisis, with extensive power outages and significant loss of life. Maria is considered one of the worst natural disasters to hit the region. In 2019, Dorian, yet another Category 5 hurricane, devastated the Bahamas, particularly the Abaco Islands and Grand Bahama. It was the most intense storm to strike the Bahamas in modern history. Despite the immense challenges posed by hurricanes, the Caribbean community demonstrates remarkable resilience and adaptation. Recovery efforts after major hurricanes often highlight the strength and solidarity of these island nations. In the aftermath of hurricanes, communities come together to rebuild. International aid and local efforts focus on restoring infrastructure, homes, and livelihoods. Initiatives across the Caribbean aim to enhance climate resilience. These include building hurricane-resistant structures, restoring natural barriers like mangroves, and improving emergency preparedness. Continued research and investment in climate science are crucial for understanding and mitigating the impacts of future hurricanes. Regional cooperation and global support play vital roles in these efforts. It is important to know what to do and what not to do during a hurricane. First, stay informed. Keep up with the latest weather forecasts and hurricane warnings from reliable sources like the National Hurricane Center and local news. Follow instructions from local officials regarding evacuations and safety measures. Prepare your home by securing windows and doors. Use hurricane shutters or board up windows with plywood. Reinforce doors and secure any loose objects outside. Ensure you have enough water, non-perishable food, medications, and emergency supplies to last at least 3 days. Include items like flashlights, batteries, a first aid kit, important documents, and personal hygiene items. Create a family emergency plan and establish a way to stay in contact with family members if you get separated. Know your local evacuation routes and have a plan for where you will go if you need to leave your home. Trim trees and shrubs and remove dead or weak branches that could cause damage. Bring in outdoor furniture, decorations, and anything else that could become projectiles in high winds. During the hurricane, remain in a safe, secure area of your home away from windows and glass doors. Keep yourself and your family calm and informed about the situation. Don't ignore evacuation orders. Failing to evacuate when advised can put your life at serious risk. If local authorities tell you to leave, do so immediately. Don't use candles during power outages. Opt for battery-powered flashlights instead of candles to avoid fire hazards. Don't go outside during the storm. Even if the eye of the hurricane passes over, it's dangerous to go outside. The storm can intensify again very quickly. Don't drive through floodwaters. Avoid driving through or walking in flooded areas. Just 6 inches of moving water can knock you down, and 1 foot of water can sweep your vehicle away. Don't leave pets behind. Ensure that your pets are part of your emergency plan. Don't leave them behind when you evacuate. Don't use generators indoors. Never use generators inside your home or in enclosed spaces like garages due to the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. By learning from the past and preparing for the future, the Caribbean continues to navigate the challenges of hurricane season with courage and unity. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the impact of hurricanes in the Caribbean. And thank you to everyone that contributed footage. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.